The next person I'm going to introduce you to is going to start by talking about your health, because it doesn't matter how much money you have in your bank account if you're as sick as can be and you're not taking care of yourself. It doesn't matter how hard you work if you're as tired as you can be, that you can't enjoy the time with your family and with your loved ones. So I've asked her to be on the show today to talk to us a little bit about how to have a Body by Ronnie. How to have, the healthy life that you want to live and just make sure that you keep your health in check. So, Ronnie Turner, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me, Kathleen. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Well, why don't you start by telling everybody a little bit about who you are and what you do. You own a company and all this. Tell us about what you do.
Yes, my name is Ronnie Turner. I'm a certified personal trainer. I have my own gym, Body by Ronnie Fitness and Day Spa, located in Sanford, Florida. It's an open health club, but I really specialize in personalized training. So making programs that are individualized to help individuals hit their specific goals and health needs, whatever their situations are. So personal training is personal just for that reason. So what's right for you is not right for me. It's not right for the girl that I trained 2 hours ago. So we individualize something that will help them get to where they want to be in life. So.
I think that's important because it's not a cookie cutter approach. And if ever you're trying a specific diet because, everybody says eat cabbage for the rest of your life and you'll lose weight, whatever it may be, it's not a cookie cutter approach for everybody. And everybody has different hormones and different body shapes and different infrastructures and all of that. So I love that you take that personalized approach. Now I know you're in Sanford and I've personally been to your gym and it's awesome. I love it. Do you still have that room that's open?
Yes, we still have a room available upstairs.
Tell everybody what you're looking for.
Well, we'd like to have something that's in the field of health and wellness, such as an esthetician or a lady who does nails. We're looking for maybe eyelash extensions, just something that will help to kind of complement what we have, because we do have wellness amenities. We have a far infrared sauna. We have a whole body vibration machine. We do the Chi Ionic foot detox baths. So we do a lot of wellness amenities, so something that would be a complement to that would be fantastic, maybe a miniature yoga room. I'm really open to anything and just like to bring someone and bring them on and be part of the team. So.
Okay, that's awesome. And I've seen the room. I can tell you it's amazing, so that is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
And if you have any interest, I'm sure she can send you photographs, and it could be just a great way that you can expand your business while getting some support because you're in it for yourself, but not by yourself, because you've got other people in the industry that's out there. Now, today we were going to talk a little bit about what are the basic components to building muscle and getting rid of fat. Bathing suit season's almost here.
Yes.
It's almost
We
here.
in Florida,
I know. Wait a minute.
unfortunately.
Disclosure. Stacy Gillis and anybody else up north right now, I apologize that it's almost time for us to put on our bathing suits. It's still snowing there.
Okay.
It's still snowing there, but it won't be snowing soon. So just hang in there, listen tight, and you may have an extra month or two that we don't. But bathing suit season is approaching, so what should we be focused on?
Although we went from the 40s last week to the 80s this week, we are 85 today. There's 3 components actually that I'd like to really focus on: resistance training, cardiovascular, and nutrition. So those are the 3 major ones. In combination with all those, that's going to help you get to your goals quickly. If you do one without the other 2, it's going to take you a bit longer to get there. And it's kind of like while you're trying to make a change in your life, do all the components at the same time so you can get there that much quicker.
Okay, let's back that up because you live this world every day.
Right.
I've been confused in this world for a very long time. So let's back that up and say resistance training. What is resistance training to you? Define that to me.
No, that's a great question. Resistance training is anything that is a weight-bearing exercise, whether it be free weights, whether it be exercise machine, chest press, anything that's going to actually work the muscles. So that's the difference between that. And if you're going to do cardiovascular, that's something that's going to be keeping the heart rate up and staying consistently up. And so that could be any mode that you like. I like to ask people, choose something that you do like, because that way you will stay with it. If it's something that your trainer says, I want you to go run 5 miles a day, and you hate to run, no, you're not going to do that. Hey, you know what, Ronnie? I really like to put my headphones on and walk around Cranes Roost. Or I like to go on the trail. Or I like Zumba. Or whatever that is. So if it's something that client enjoys, then the chances of them sticking with it are a whole lot greater.
I think that's so true, because all my life I've hated, whenever I haven't had a trainer, like I do know that there are a lot of things that you're talking about that people can totally do on their own. You don't even have to have a gym. So if you're using not having a trainer or not having a gym as an excuse, it's exactly that. It's an excuse because you can do this all on your own. But I can tell you that I have learned that when I do have a trainer, it keeps me accountable. It does keep me more consistent. It pushes me a little bit further. I'll run the steps a few more times than if it was just me by myself. Frankly, that's just the truth. But I can tell you that you and I have talked about this. Like, I finally found a place that I enjoy doing cardio, and it is around Crane's Roost. And what I enjoy about it is not that it's outside even. I mean, I like the lake and the breeze from that, but I like watching the people. I like, you know, seeing the same people every day and counting how many laps. And, you know, there's something amazingly motivating when you see a lady with a cane in front of you. You're like, okay, no excuses, Kathleen. You know, you've got to keep going. So I love the fact that you said find something that you like to do.
Absolutely.
Now, what are some of the benefits to going to a gym or hiring a trainer to do resistance training versus doing it in your home with just bands or free weights?
Great, that's kind of a twofold. Typically at a gym, you're going to have a little bit more variety, typically. But I think more importantly, if you have a trainer or a partner, it doesn't necessarily have to be a trainer, or you have someone that you're committed to, you know, you're going to have it's more likely that you're going to show up. Again, there could be some rivalry, some nice competition. You know, if you're an individual and you're paying a trainer, you're paying them a decent amount of money, so chances are you're going to show up. So it's either trainer, partner, that's going to help to keep you motivated and keep you, you know, kind of in that competitive mode.
Okay. Now, the other thing that you had talked about is how nutrition plays a role with this, because I know that, you know, if you're just focusing on eating protein and no carbs, and then you go out and you do resistance training, that causes a problem. I know that if you're just focused on cardio, and, you know, there's just all these different equations that go into play.
Right.
Somebody that's out there that they're watching and they're like, I am so confused. I don't like. I had a doctor tell me the other day, don't eat bananas. And I'm like, okay, so now I'm not allowed to eat bananas. I thought I was allowed to eat fruit every now and then after I worked out. And it's confusing. How do we decipher the information? What is good for us, and what are we supposed to do?
Okay, well, what I would say is everyone is different. So I would say try and get to a professional, maybe just for a consultation, or pay that person for a consultation, so to get you on track. If you ask one person, another trainer, and they don't know your body, don't know what your goals are, and haven't done your body fat measurements, they're not going to know what they need to help you out with. So if you just maybe get that person to say, this is just get a plan started for me. That is something that I think would be really important, because that will keep you, instead of running from here to there to there. In general consensus, if a person wants to put on some lean muscle mass, drop some body fat, maybe become a smaller version of themselves, it's not so much sometimes about being the number on the scale, it's the composition of the body. So we want to increase the lean muscle or keep the lean muscle, and we want to decrease the fat. So that being said, a typical idea of a food would be a higher protein, lower, not low, lower carb, and low fat, small meals throughout the day. One key I would suggest is making sure that you have a higher protein meal after the workout, because you need to have the amino acids that are in the protein to help repair the damage that you did during the weight training session. So maybe a bit higher carb meal before for energy, and then a lower carb, high protein meal after. That's just a general.
Well, you know, one of the things that we were talking about before the show is how much, since I got an app on my phone, and I'm able to literally track everything I'm doing and everything I'm eating. Like, even just the other day, I was sitting at a restaurant and I pulled up the restaurant's menu and I was able to compare. Ooh, you know, that would be a bad decision, even though it looked like a good decision, because I was able to see that had like 4,000, you know, things of sodium or something like that. So when you can track that, it does help you make more educated decisions and help you understand things a little bit more.
Right.
But I also want to say that it's also kind of confusing, because like I was always told to drink a protein shake in the morning. But when you really look at some of what's in the protein shake compared to a breast of chicken or something like that, there's a huge difference in carbs and calories and protein.
Right.
So what is your take on that?
Well, when I set a plan up and a program up for somebody, I give them an ideal number. So at the end of the day, I'll say, for example, I would like for you to have this many grams of fat, this many grams of protein, this many grams of carb. That way they have a guide, so they don't have to have it plugged into every meal, but by the end of the day, if they can have that accomplished, then typically that's going to be a successful day.
Okay.
So if it one morning runs a little short on carbs or a little high on carbs, you can just kind of play with that throughout the day and try and make that total. That's what I try to equate to, or let people understand that. So that way they can be successful. It's not about every single meal can't be perfect, you know, because we all live like that. We can't enjoy ourselves. And if we can't enjoy ourselves, this life is too short,
right.
you know?
Right. And it is all about making decisions. You know, it's funny because since I have this app, just the other day we went out to dinner, and my kid, Chili's, okay? My kids love their chips and salsa. They just love it. And Rachel loves dessert. She is like a dessert, like she just loves it. That's just her thing. She'll probably become a pastry chef when she gets older or something. But so we were getting ready to eat, and she was like, "Oh, pull up the meals on it." So we pulled it up. First of all, I will never eat another chip and salsa again because it was crazy when I looked it up. But then we compared it to the cake, and I don't want to make my kids self-conscious of their body and their image and what they're doing, but I need to make them conscious of the decisions that they're making and what they're doing. And they're learning to say, okay, well, if I really want dessert, then I have to give up the chips. Or if I really want dessert, then I have to eat either a grilled chicken sandwich or a salad. Do you know what I mean? And learning how to make those balances. I think everything that we do, we can then teach our kids to do and follow along.
Absolutely.
Okay, what are some other tips that you might have
Yeah, there's a couple of things. I'm eating small meals throughout the day. That just helps to keep the metabolism a bit higher. So it doesn't have to be sit-down meals. It can be snacks, or breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a snack. One thing that I found is the key to success is being able to be prepared. If you can prepare your meals ahead of time, this is where we all fall short. This is where we all make mistakes. We'll run for the first quickest thing, healthy or not, because we're starving. So if you can prepare a Ziploc baggie, have George Foreman be your new best friend, you know, Ziploc bag, Tupperware, that kind of thing, that I find is huge and key for people to stay on track so that they know when they come home, they can take it out of the freezer in the morning, or they can microwave it, or they can warm it up, however it is, and they have the food there so that they don't have to spend all this time preparing. And when they're prepared and it's healthy, then it's there, and that's huge. That's one of my favorite tips.
I think that's really important. Now, what do you tell people that are sick of eating chicken?
Fish, turkey burgers, you know, I do try and change it up, you know, even salmon burgers, because I don't like to eat the same thing every night, but I like to prepare my chicken differently. So if I go to Sam's or Costco and I'll get 20 pounds of chicken, but I'll grill them 3 different ways. So at least it's chicken, yes, but at least there's a different flavor coming up. But there are other things, and lean meats, that, you know, lean beef that you can implement in there as well. So just kind of change it up, you know, and making sure that variety. Some people can eat the same thing all the time. I can't. I want to be able to enjoy it, you know. So I try and change it up and just keep it in the realm of the parameters of what I'm trying to shoot for the day.
Absolutely, I hear you. Now, I know one of the things that we talked about before the segment is that it's important to avoid processed food. And so many people are going gluten-free. So many people are focused on how processed foods can affect ADHD and other things like that in your life. Why is it important to avoid processed food, especially as older women?
Right. Well, our body can't process that. It has the chemicals and those kinds of things. So we really need to stay away from that and go as natural as we can. Even if you're getting a chicken breast, try and get, you know, a grass-fed, antibiotic, hormone-free, you know, that kind of thing. It's going to cost a little bit more money, but then again, this is our one body. So, you know, I try and do those things as often as possible. I try and stay away from processed. Now, every now and then, there might be a snack or a bar or something that you can't get exactly as healthy as you want it for it to be. But typically, read labels, educate yourself. I think reading the labels is huge. You know, going, like you said, pulling that app up and looking at the food that you thought was healthy. You know, just educating yourself, and then you make the decisions that are right for you.
Right. I think it's a lot easier when you're sitting there looking at a menu and you're hungry and you're looking at, ooh, that sounds like it might taste good, or that sounds like it might taste good. When you take away the emotional factor and you start looking at the app and looking at the logical factor, it's a lot easier to say, oh, do I really want, you know, 40 more grams of fat, you know, or whatever, just because it sounds like it might taste good. And you know, normally the answer is probably not, you know, or it doesn't taste as good as thin feels, you know, like, you know, imagine that. So as far as training, what do you suggest? Because so many of our members are women over the age of 40, you know, no matter where you're at in the United States, so many of our members are over the age of 40. What advice or suggestions do you give them, especially if they're sitting there saying, you know what, yeah, I'd like to look good in a bathing suit, but I gave up that dream 10 years ago, you know, after my first 3 kids or whatever?
No, great question. Actually, there's been a lot of recent studies done, and resistance training is the #1 most important thing for women over 40. Documentation from doctors. I've been doing a lot of studying on this. This is super key, ladies. And as much as some ladies don't want to hear that, it doesn't have to be crazy intense. It could be, you know, it could be high repetitions with lower weight, but just increase the lean muscle mass. By increasing the lean muscle mass, you're going to become toner. You're going to become stronger. Mood is going to be elevated. Stress level is going to go down. All of these things. So over 40, that was like one of my greatest aha moments, that some stuff that's recently been published. So
okay, I think that's important. And you know, I think also too that when you feel stronger and when you're lowering your body fat and you're increasing your muscle, you're right, your mood is going to be a little bit better. I think you're going to be a better mother. I think you're going to be able to do things a little bit different. You know, I know in this past year my journey's been totally different, and we bike ride and we go running together, and you know, we're teaching that they get excited that mom knows how to do a burpee. Is that what it's called? I can't remember. Okay, you know, those different things, and it's but we're challenging each other, and that's all about, you know, shifting your family's focus and your mentality, and you know, really what you're concentrating on, because truly it's not, like I said in the beginning, it's not about how much wealth you create for your family, how big of a house you live in for your family. It's really how healthy your family dynamics are, and that all begins with you. So Ronnie's got some amazing prizes, but one of those prizes I want to take a moment and talk about for a little bit. I know you're a trainer, you know, firsthand, an entrepreneur because you own a studio, secondhand, but you most recently got involved in the It Works body wrap
Global.
company.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to know about this because people say it works.
Okay.
I've talked to trainers that say I've used it before I've competed. I've talked to brides that have said they used it before they got married, but it's a piece of plastic that you basically stick on yourself with something that kind of smells a little bit, and then you wear it for a while, and it's supposed to make you look thinner. So explain that to me.
In a nutshell, basically what it is, it's a botanically based product that can be applied from the neck down. It looks like a big bandage, if you will, a big Band-Aid. It's applied to one area. You stick with one area depending on your results desired. There are 4 wraps in a box. 4 wraps is considered one application. So we don't know what that number is for you, but if you stick with it, you will see results. You'll see results in 45 minutes. If you stick with it every 3 days, continue on, and the longer you stick with, the better the results are. They can be permanent if you stick with it. If you're trying to eat right, drink water while you're having the wrap on, because that's how it makes the wrap work. So that dispels the fact that it could be water weight, because it's not. You literally have to drink around 16 ounces or maybe more while you're having the wrap on. And it basically flattens the fat cell, and then it just excretes normally the toxins, and it's pretty easy. It's all natural based, all organic. Everything in our product line is.
Okay, so why is it that you have to use it every 3
Every 3
days?
days.
Like, why can't you use it every day if it's totally
Because it
safe?
still stays in the system. It goes deep into, works in a process called lipolysis. So it goes deep into the subdermal layers, and so it takes 3 days for it to work. By the 3rd day, it's pretty much done, and then you reapply. So it tightens, tones, and firms in 45 minutes, reduces the appearance of cellulite and wrinkles. So
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's
It's a great
terrific, and
product.
I can't wait to try it. So I think that
Yay.
that's really cool. So if you have something that you want to tighten or tone or fix in any way, shape, or form, you know, keep in mind that it's about, you know, resistance training, it's about cardiovascular training, nutrition, and then if you just want that little extra something to give you that extra push, take a look at the product that's called It Works, because from what people tell me, it really does work. Now I can tell you that Ronnie's going to give away 2 fantastic prizes, and possibly one more. We'll see how we feel as the show continues. But the first prize is going to be to somebody that's watching the show today. Now, Ronnie, tell us, how do they can find you on the WOMTech member directory just by typing RONI in the member directory, and her name will pop up. But tell us your website.
BodyByRonnie.com is my website. You can find me on Facebook and like my page, Body by Ronnie or Ronnie Turner. So whoever reach out to me, I'm not sure what we're going to do here.
Okay, so whoever reaches out to her first from anywhere in the United States, okay, so it doesn't matter where you're at, and you say, you know what, I've got something that I want to tighten, tone, and get firm, and I want to find out if that It Works stuff really does work. So the first person that reaches out to Ronnie and says, I want to find out if it really works, and lets her know, she will be in touch with you, and you will win, what is it?
A free wrap.
Okay, a free wrap,
Yep,
which is
a
awesome.
free
So
skinny wrap.
you can try it out. Now the second thing is, tell us about your sauna.
Okay, at the gym we have what's called a far infrared sauna. It's different than the saunas from the past. It's a sauna that heats the core from the core out, so internally out. You don't have to take your jewelry off. It's not that kind of sauna. It's not a steam sauna. And it's a major detoxifier. Major detoxifier helps significantly with heavy metals. You can burn up to 700 calories in 30 minutes. You're going to get in there, get your sweat on. It's nice and cozy, though. I mean, you can have the music on and get yourself wrapped in a towel. In the sessions, we're giving away one gift certificate that has 2 sessions on it.
Okay.
So
That's awesome, and I think that this should go to somebody that is local. So if you are in the Central Florida area and you would like to meet Ronnie, check out her spa, take a look at her sauna, and also you have the foot detox. Tell us how that works before we wrap it up.
the Ionic Chi Foot Detox Bath is a major detoxifier. We have to set your body to a certain electrical charge. We put you in a nice comfy chair, and we have your foot in this little foot bath, and there's equipment that's involved. And when your body reaches a certain charge, the pores in your feet actually open, and it detoxifies the body. So the color of the water is what's actually being detoxified from the body, and there's a chart next to where you're seated so you know what those colors mean. So if it's orange, it's joints. If it's green, it's more liver. There's different stages of detoxification, different kinds. If it's yeast, it's white. So basically, it's just getting the toxins out that your body, that we all have, no matter how healthy we are. And then we put you in a colder foot bath so the pores will tighten up.
Okay, very interesting. So if you want to check that out, again, reach out to Body by Ronnie. That's bodybyronnie.com. You can also find her on the WOMTech directory. All you have to do is type in Ronnie or view her on Facebook. I know she's part of the WOMTech National Facebook page. So check her out. Let her know you want to check out her sauna or you want to find out if it works, and you could be a winner today on WOMTech Live.